The long-running Dynasty Warriors series started back on the PS1, but now we have the new Dynasty Warriors 9. But is this game the new emperor of the series, or should this one be exiled to the far reaches of the lands? There's a lot to love about Dynasty Warriors 9. There's also a lot that ends up leaving a lot to be desired. The world of Dynasty Warriors 9 is very familiar. It's the same piece of history and the same types of missions that we've been doing since near the very beginning of the series, but the gameplay has been tweaked and changed quite a bit. It's a much more open world experience this time around, more akin to the Dragon Quest Heroes series that they also recently developed. This new open world structure gives the game a lot of freedom. There's side missions and you can do things in a little bit of your own order, though in the end you still have an overall goal or top mission that you're trying to complete. Every single playable character in the game has their own story. Some of them are longer or shorter than others depending upon when they came into the story as far as history is concerned and when they exited. All 83 of the characters that we've known from the last few entries in the Dynasty Warriors series are back, with even more characters being added, with over 90 in total for you to play through. If you're going to do every single story in the game, it's probably going to take you 100 if not 200 hours to do everything. The only mode in the game though is the story mode. It's single player only, there is no co-op, whether it be local or online, and we've seen a lot of co-op in a lot of the previous Dynasty Warriors and other Musou games, but unfortunately that's not included here, which is one of the big sour notes. But because of this, you end up being able to dive a bit more into the character that you're actually controlling as you explore this pretty vast world. They take a lot of stuff from other open world games, such as towers that you can scan out the area similar to Ubisoft games like Assassin's Creed, but it ends up not looking quite as good as those games as the draw distance is not very good in the game. The open world though does have a few issues of just overall bareness to everything. You're going to be doing a lot of traveling, whether it be on foot or horseback, and thankfully you can fast travel quite a bit in the game. But a lot of the time you're just going to be spent going from one spot to another. Missions are very linear. You're pretty much going from one point and it'll tell you where you need to go to next. Go there and either grab an item or defeat an enemy or series of enemies. One aspect I like about the game is while you have your main quest that is a certain recommended level, if you complete the other side quests leading up to that one, you end up lowering the recommended level, thus lowering the enemies you'll face during that main mission. So the more you do, the better chance you'll have of being able to beat it, which may come really in handy on the harder difficulties. Though when it comes to the most important aspect of the game, the gameplay, the combat, the game is still as fun as ever, though it has been changed up a bit. No longer are you just mashing square and then pressing triangle to finish up your combo. Now you can hold down the R1 button, you're given a little menu, and then pressing one of the face buttons will allow you to pull off a variety of different moves. One which will stun, one that will launch an enemy into the air, as well as special attacks such as magic abilities or whatever your character you're playing as has. Every character has their own unique weapon, as well as of course their own special move that they're able to pull up once you fill up the Musou meter, and each character can also change out their equipment to equip any one of the weapons you've gathered throughout the game, so that's a big plus as far as customization goes. The game also features stuff like a crafting system, as well as a few shops you can visit. You can upgrade things for your horse. There's also a hideaway that you can go to and unlock that you'll be able to place items around it and use this as a kind of a hangout spot. Last and kind of least for me as far as new features were concerned was the hunting and fishing. It's pretty basic. You're able to use the bow to hunt certain animals and get certain items that you can use and then craft or sell, as well as the same goes for fishing. It's pretty much the wait for a prompt and then mash a button a few times and there you go, you got your fish. I want to emphasize that the core gameplay as far as combat was concerned was still very much a Dynasty Warriors game, was very fun for me. It's just the other problems started to mount on me very fast, such as just little graphical and technical issues, such as the game glitching out, my characters getting stuck on surfaces or stuck against objects. The auto path system, where your horse can travel along, is pretty much broken most of the time, with your horse going all over the place, running into walls, and permanently getting stuck that way. The game also fails in the presentation department. While the music's as good as ever for the series, the voice acting though is absolutely horrendous. Apparently the voice actors were rushed, they only did one take and that's what you ended up hearing in the game, as well as they didn't even get a chance to rehearse or were told how to say the names, so pronunciations of a lot of the characters' names are completely inconsistent throughout the game. However, the biggest strike for this game for me was an error I ran into not once but twice during my playthroughs, where an autosave ended up taking place at a spot where I was already at an autofail. And because of this, when it would reload the checkpoint, I had already failed the mission, pretty much locking my story, and all I could really do was move on to a different character or restart my progress from the beginning with that character. Lastly, as far as negatives go, the game did crash on me on a few occasions. It does have some frame rate drop as well as slowdown depending upon what's going on screen. Dynasty Warriors 9 is available now on the PC, Xbox One, and PS4 for $59.99. It does have a Platinum Trophy, of course, on the PS4. Overall, I'm a huge fan of this series and have played not only most of the games in the series, but a lot of the spin-offs. This was a big disappointment for me, as I was expecting a big jump from Dynasty Warriors 8 to Dynasty Warriors 9, especially with the new gameplay and open world, which ended up leading itself to just being mediocre at its best, along with a myriad of other technical issues and presentation issues. With everything said, unfortunately, I'm going to be giving Dynasty Warriors 9 a 4 out of 10. But anyway guys, that's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course I hope you enjoyed.